Hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Where are we? Well, we're dropping down from Stroumbi village and we're heading towards, well, Polis or Paradise, because there's a beautiful blue Mediterranean Sea over yonder. And if you look very carefully, you can see it. And it truly does look absolutely spectacular. The kind of view that quite simply takes your breath away. Now, as you can see, those skies are blue. That sea is blue. Mr. Paul is dressed head to toe in blue. And my little partner in crime, Mr. Kenny, he's going to be riding shotgun for a few days now because he's getting ready to celebrate his birthday. So sit back and relax and enjoy the drive. We're going to go to Polis. Now, the girls are raring to go. Who's the girls? Well, they're the girls in charge of the canteen. So welcome to the Mr. Paul's Breakfast Club. The girls in the canteen are raring to go. The kettles are on. The kettles are, well, they're almost boiling, aren't they, boys? Come on, get ready. And, of course, the coffee is brewing. And on top of all that, there's been a lot of cake making. Cupcakes galore, walnut cakes, cheesecakes, lots of hobnobs, milky hobnobs we haven't got yet. But I think Miss Andrea is going to bring her own with her because she's going to come into town next week. And of course Mr. Mart's coming with her. And a big shout out to the one and only Sally Briers, by the way. Happy birthday, Sally. We hope you're having a fantastic day and we hope you're enjoying your new sofa that Mr. Matt has bought. And hopefully he's going to put a ring on your finger very soon indeed. And hopefully we're going to be told that you've booked your holiday out to Paradise, because we're looking forward to seeing you again. But really, we wish you a truly great birthday, and we hope the weather is not treating you too unkindly, and hopefully you're going to go out for dinner, and hopefully you're going to get some nice gifts from Mr. Mart, and of course everyone who loves you, and we love you a lot. Thanks, Miss Sally. You are a star among stars. Again, one of our very early family members, and very loyal. So we all stay very loyal to our friends as well. So have a great birthday. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And so does Miss Oching Booth. She's blowing your kisses. Now, who else is on the sofa today? Mr. Ronnie, all the way from Israel, who now resides at the roads. They're absolutely terrible. Oh, so sweet. Get yourself onto that memory foam cushion, because the roads in downtown Yolu, that's where we are if you're wondering, are absolutely, well, Sherlock Holmes. Look at the potholes. It doesn't matter how slow you go, what you try and do, well, you're getting bounced around and all sorts. So, Lizzie Blonde, don't forget there is a job for your husband when he comes out to Cyprus. He can ride shotgun with Padonis the mare. Nicole will be in the back. Kenny will be on her lap. Mr. Paul will be sitting there thinking, oh, these are quite nice. And she will be translating from Greek to Mancunian, and then I will translate to your husband into plain, simple English. And he'll film it all, and it'll be a great YouTube channel as we watch the Mayor of Paphos go around with his whacker plate, chucking a bit of tarmacadam in, and a rake and a shovel, and could be a good YouTube channel. Now, talking about YouTube channels, two of our superstars, well, it's four actually, isn't it? Because Miss Mart, sorry Mart, I'm sorry about that one, Miss Andrea and Mr. Mart. So their channel is called Andrea and Mart, and they're racing and wiggling and waggling around the Norfolk countryside and the city of Norwich. Great knowledge, by the way. It's quite a bit of banter going on as they drive around. And then there's two other superstars. Yes, Nessie the tea girl. Well, she's moonlighting as well with her husband Andy, and they are Ness and Andy UK Travels and Further Afield. Pop it into the search bar on YouTube, and up will come their videos. And of course they're blasting around in a big Range Rover, destroying the planet, CO2 emissions absolutely everywhere. So he's a man after my own heart, and they're going around the Shropshire lanes, and they're even venturing into, well, God's King country, Wales. That's where they're going. They're going to look at the green grass of Wales. And Miss Nessie, who's originally a London girl, actually practiced her Welsh, and to be honest, I think she speaks better Welsh than me. So nostar from me. Right, go and have a look at their channel, please. I think it's interesting. I really do. And of course, as people go and watch, hit the like, they get more and more confident, and they go to places perhaps that you might request them to go, and you'll learn something, and you really will. And they're planning to go around the Brennig Reservoir, which is in the Vale of Clwyd, which is in the Denbighshire area. And and you're going to get some great views there, that's for sure. And as I was telling Mr. Andrew last night, my father was the area surveyor for Denbighshire in his earlier life. He was the area surveyor for Denbighshire when he was about 27, which I'm going to blow his trumpet now. He was the youngest area surveyor in the UK, and I don't think anyone to this date has actually beaten him either. So he was a very clever man and a very educated man, and a truly exceptional engineer. And well, he was a great man, my hero, that's for sure. Unfortunately, he died young, but he reached the heights. He was a consultant engineer in the end, and he worked for the World Bank, for those of you who know what it is, and he was a supervising engineer for quite a few things like the Aswan Dam in Egypt, cotton ginneries, all over the world, these kind of things. So he was a very good engineer, which I think, if you understand about engineers, to get to be the #1 engineer in a county in the UK at 27, well, he must have been quite clever, and he was indeed. He was a great engineer. Anyway, there we go. Unfortunately, as he used to say, he had high hopes for me, but he realised when I was 18, well, I think he realised quite earlier on, to be honest, that I was an idiot. And he was right, because I am the idiot that wears the blue hat and a pair of sunglasses. But very luckily for me, I managed to view? No, woo, the most beautiful woman in the world. And of course her name is Miss Archie Lucidia Love Booth. How are we doing, Kenny? Are you alright? Are you relaxed sitting there? Yes? Would you like, let me think, an orange juice? Do you want an orange juice, or you want a cup of tea? Because you are a Mancunian boy now. There's a bit of Creechin in you, but you are a Mancunian. So have a nice cup of tea. You sit back, tell me to go straight, left or right. At the moment, we're going straight, by the way. I understand you're not quite 4 yet, so I understand that perhaps you don't quite understand the laws of the roads. So to be honest, you're in good company, because there's a lot of people on these roads in Cyprus that don't really understand what they're doing, including me. Anyway, if you stick with us a bit longer, we are going to arrive in downtown Stroumbi. Well, I think that's how you say it. Quite a big village, and there's houses and villas and all that kind of stuff. There's a supermarket and a couple of tavernas. There's a British-run antique shop. There's a second-hand shop. There's all sorts of things going on. So if you're coming to Paphos on your holidays and you happen to rent a car, steal a car, borrow a car, I don't know, you've got a car and you want to go wandering around, well, perhaps watch the Marika and Me videos and you might find your way around. But lots of these villages are very interesting to go and visit. And of course, if you've got a couple of hours on your, well, you've got plenty of hours if you're on holiday, haven't you? You can park up and have a walk around. There'll always be someone who'll give you a hug and a kiss and a cup of tea or a coffee or something. And you won't have to part with that much money. And you can steal a couple of oranges off the trees or bananas, because no one minds. This is Cyprus. And around this area here, by the way, this is like orange central. Yeah. There's trees everywhere. I mean, those are olive trees over there, by the way, but there's orange trees absolutely everywhere. So bring yourself a plastic bag, stop and pluck 1 or 2, and no one will say a word to you. Don't worry. It's not that kind of country. We don't mind if you steal 1 or 2 oranges, as long as you don't turn up with a lorry. Well, often people do. But anyway, and you often find out this way in Argaka, which is where I'm going to go afterwards, there's a field full of watermelons. Yep, you heard me correctly. A field full of watermelons. And often, when I used to live out this way, I would pop out and, well, what should we say? Reappropriate one. And no one ever cared. No one ever cared. You'd see the same people there time and time again. You say, yes, take your watermelon and bugger off. Right, we are about to enter the village of Stroumbi. So here we go. Let's try and read this sign here. What does it say? My pronunciation memory is Sherlock Holmes. It says Cholu is 1 kilometre, Polis is 8 kilometres, and Gaudi is 6 kilometres. And again, I warn you now about speeding. If you're going to be speeding in Paphos, well, don't do it, because they're everywhere. But don't be thinking when you come out to the, well, outer extremities, up into the hills, up into the mountains, don't be thinking that you can put your foot down, because you can't, because the boys in blue, well, they'll be waiting for you just around this corner, and if they're not round this corner, the next corner, and if they're not on that one, they'll have you on the straight before you hit Polis. So listen very carefully. It's up to you, obviously, what you do, but if you want to race along here, I promise you, you'll be speeding along quite happily, thinking everything's wonderful, and the next thing, a man with a yellow bib and a blue shirt will pop out, pull you over, and have a chat with you. And it starts off with yes ass, and then he starts smiling and dancing. Then he gets your driving licence, and then he wants your credit card, and then you're in big trouble. And by the way, you ended up 10 or 15 minutes late. So there you go. Byron Supermarket, that's what this one's called. The man who owns it's called Byron, and it pretty much sells everything you could want, even that beautiful stuff called Coca-Cola. Here's the second-hand shop I was telling you about. Here it is on the left-hand side if you want a second-hand sofa, because we're running out of sofas, by the way, because a lot of people coming into town sitting on our sofas, that's for sure. I mean, you got Mr. Nigel, his wife, Miss Debbie, the daughter, Miss Maya, they're in town, they're sitting there. Big shout out to you, Nigel. Thanks for the coffee. Viking Ronnie, thanks for the coffee. Miss Labika, she's in town, she's cuddling up, practicing her English. Her English is exceptional, by the way. She lives in England now, but originally from Slovakia. Yes, so maybe she knows Lord Ritchie. You never know. She might do. Could be from the same bloodline. I think I'm going to have to promote her, to be honest. I think Miss Labika is going to become Lady Labika. There we are. That's it. From now on, Miss Labika is Lady Labika. It's about time, because she's a star among stars. So sit back, Labika, enjoy your tea or your coffee. You let us know which one you want. Use on the sofa for a few days, that's for sure. And it's nice and warm in here with a log burner going on. And Kenny's telling me which way to go. So this is the part now I was telling you about. The boys in blue really, really like to hang out here. I mean, today they'll probably say it's a bit cold. If you're curious to know, Miss Dawn, Mr. Sean, Miss Daisy, the Cypriot cat, and her little furry friend, the dog called Bo, well, it's actually 14 degrees. So to be honest, that's a little bit cold for Cyprus. Although the skies are blue, as you can see, and as you can see before, the sea is blue. Mr. Paul is dressed head to toe in blue, so all it's actually missing is you. So come on, Kenny, get yourself on a big bird or a canoe and start paddling like crazy, because Cyprus is quite simply waiting for you. Spectacular views indeed. Something that's very, very nice about Cyprus, wherever you go. I mean, it's not that big an island, so probably the blue Mediterranean Sea is not that far away from you. And the air, well, the air quality is spectacular, by the way. It's like the Welsh Hills. It really, really is very, very similar indeed. And this area here now reminds me of Betws-y-Coed, which, of course, if your name is Ness and Andy, you know what I'm talking about. Beautiful. So this is the final stretch now. And here's some comparison blue coming the other way. Look at them. Lights are flashing. So I think that they're about to go and set up just down the road, because it's coming up to 10 o'clock. So, yeah, that sounds about right. They've had a little chat in the police station. Started about 9, you see. Had a frappe. Had about 4 or 5 cigarettes. Phoned the girlfriends. And thinking, right, let's go make a couple of bob. Let's go and park up for about 10 till about 11:30, and then of course make your way back to the police station, get ready for lunch, and then after lunch, normally they tune into Marika and me and see what I'm chopsing about. I know most of them, if you understand me, they're wondering, what is this stupid Welsh idiot talking about? We're going to get him one of these days. Well, you're not, boys, you're not, because they don't speed. So there you go. They haven't had me for many, many years. I'll tell you a story, actually. Many, many years ago, when I was a young man, I was racing around in downtown Paphos, and I got pulled over. He was a nice chap, but very, very polite, gave me the fine. About 2 or 3 months later, got pulled over for speeding. He was a nice chap, very polite. He was the same guy, by the way, gave me the fine. And then about a year later, I got pulled over again, and he was a nice chap, very polite. He was the same guy. And I understood his English wasn't too bad when we were having conversations, but I now understood that his English was absolutely perfect. He smiled at me and he said, oh, by the way, you can now pay your fine online. It's much, much easier and much more efficient for you. And we had a laugh and a joke, and it turned out he'd lived in downtown London for quite a few years when he was young. And at the end of the day, they're only doing their job. And like I say, I know I make fun of them, but I don't make fun of them in a nasty way, if you understand me. We understand it's cold, so they do have to have a bit of fur on their flip-flops at this time of year. And, you know, it's culture to smoke in Cyprus, so it's quite normal to see a policeman with 4 or 5 cigarettes on the go at one time. And if you're not paying for your frappes, well, why not have 3 or 4 in the car with you? And again, if you're not paying for your mobile phone and you're getting issued one by the police authority as well, why not have 2 or 3? That's what I say. Anyway, they're all right, and they really, really are. and all they're trying to do is try to make the roads that little bit safer. So I'm going to say thanks for watching, and if you do like or what you see, hit the like, click subscribe. Want to come back a little bit more of our madness, and of course if you really want to watch the channel grow, you could go through to our about page, consider to buy us a coffee or two. We promise to turn that into coffees in the morning, breakfast, and of course benzene for the tank, which allows us to keep on driving around making these little videos especially for you. So Kenny, what do you think? You've not been to Polis before, have you? Nice? Yeah? Should we keep going a bit longer and see if we can find a sweet shop? And we'll go for a dismount and see if we can get some, I don't know, what do you want? Smarties? You like Smarties? No? What does your mum not let you have normally? What's your fancy? Huh? You have a little think. Your mum's shouting now as she goes, she's not having it, she's not having it. Well, he is. He's going to come in the shop with me and he's going to have whatever he wants. So if it's Smarties, do you fancy Smarties? No? M&M's? They've got lots of E's and colours and things, and they'll drive you nuts, won't they? I'll have 4 or 5 packs of them because I'm already nuts. Anyway, thanks for watching. My God, is he blonde? Gridlock. We've entered Polis and it's a traffic jam from hell. Let's go and check the price of benzene and see if it's the same price as Lord Ritchie's. Let's have a look. What is it? Ooh, 135.5. It's cheaper in downtown Paphos. Should we let this girl go? We may as well. There we are. That's our good deed for the day. We'll run her over on the way back. There we go. There's the local tyre shop. And then if you want a grant for the government for your fields, that's the building to go to on the left-hand side. Right-hand side, sorry. Never know my left from my right. The back streets of downtown Polis. There's the big church. Look at that. That's a nice church, isn't it? And if you want some money to give to the vicar, well, on the left-hand side, that's the Paphos Cyprus. You want some more petrol? There you go. That's where you go. And if you want some more benzene, there's another benzene station down here. So coffees are all appreciated. Thanks very much. And of course, the Paphos supermarket. There we go. That's the video done. That's the rant over. Thanks for watching.